Hey guys, welcome to the second JavaScript mock interview. This is where I have interviewed one of you guys, my viewers, and recorded the session. It's just like a real interview, except it's not. But it has the same excitement and suspense and drama and all the knowledge that you need to get like in a real interview. So I have a suggestion. You can watch it multiple different ways. You can listen to my question, pause the video, do your own solution, and then resume it to see if it matches with your answer, or just you do it while the candidate is doing and see who does it faster, right? But ultimately, it's about speed, accuracy, instant solution that is workable. Especially if you're actively interviewing, then this would be a good video for you. And if you want to be part of this whole mock interview video series, you can do that. I'll provide an email address here, and you email me and say, hey, I wanna be part of the interview, and I will take your interview. So why not just try, right? Yeah, and welcome to Texas Tutorials. Can you tell me a little bit about what is your experience with JavaScript and what you've been working on, so I can kind of judge where you are, and then we can start accordingly.
Yeah, for sure. It was actually the second programming language I learned. I enrolled college as a computer science major, but I didn't really get into it a bunch, and I just thought man, this is too hard for me. But I realized a lot of it was maybe a little too abstract. So I had some experience in C++, which honestly, I don't know, I think it's not a good first language to learn, because so that was my first introduction to programming. I didn't program for 3 years or so, and I ended up studying writing in college, and then just getting back into programming later, and then really it was just a great time to learn JavaScript. So that was maybe 2 years ago. So yeah, since then I've been doing a lot working with React, Google's Puppeteer library for automating various things at work. And then I use Node.js a lot for part of my job is making Lambda functions for our clients and stuff. Or most of them are static sites that just need a little bit of either a contact form or some other basic data fetching kind of stuff on WordPress sites, and using JavaScript there for animations.
Okay, cool. All right, so I would say you have a lot of experience with JavaScript. All right, so let's start with a little bit simpler, and then we'll go up as depends on how you do, right? Let's say if I have
sounds good.
An array which has a bunch of elements, which are numbers, and what I want to do is I want to add them all and just get a sum out of it. How would I do that?
Should I code it on the screen? Or?
Yeah, you can just type it in. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I guess you could do a lot of ways. You could do a for loop, or you can use some of the cool methods on arrays, which this is reduce, so it takes an accumulator and then I guess just the item, and so you can take the braces away just to return it. Accumulator plus item, and then if you don't specify the accumulator, it's just the first item. So I think that's what we're looking for.
Okay. Yep. That's the right approach. I think that's the best approach right now, I guess, if you want to have a sweeter code. All right. So all right. So let me move on to the second question. Let's say if I have a function add, and I can write it multiple ways, right? I can say, let's do this way, and same function, you can write it this way. Okay. I want you to write just a one function that does both ways, and it should basically add two numbers and give me 3 here.
All right, let me give this a shot. maybe not the best code I've ever written, but let me see. Okay. That's maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's interesting. I've had it in an interview ask just this one. So, just like returning a function that takes one. So I've never had one that asks both. That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the next one is more some sort of algorithm. Okay. So let's say if I have an array, it's a number array, and it's an unordered array, right? So unsorted, should I say. And it has, numbers between 1 to 100. Okay. Except one number is missing. So it could be 5 or it could be 7. One number is missing. And then the array is unsorted. So I need to find that number. How would I do that? So the fact that I already know that there are 99 numbers inside.
You could run through, I guess you could set up a for loop to iterate through the array. And you can keep like a highest number variable. And then if the current item that's being iterated through is higher than the variable, then you can just reassign the variable. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Sorry, I was thinking of highest number.
No, not the highest number. It could be any number from the array.
Right. Yes, I guess you could sort the array, and then I guess maybe it's more brute force, but you could sort the array and then iterate through each item and expect that the next number, or the number being iterated is the last number plus 1. And if it's not the case, then that must be the missing number. Maybe not the best way to do it, but
right.
Should I try and code that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah, so I'll just set up a for loop. Go. I'll start it off with 0.
So you're trying to sort the array first?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, sure.
So let me just do. Maybe I'll start. I guess I should put all this in a function, but yeah, why don't I do that? Function that takes the array, and then I'll just assign the array. Let's do this because I can do that. Sort. Oh gosh, I always have to look up I want to do B minus A. I would break out the dev tools. Do for loop. Oh. Oh, shoot. Okay, I went back. Hopefully it's saved. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was trying to use a keyboard shortcut.
Oh, okay.
Very, very tempting. Okay. Alright, so... more clear to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that. So if the most recent number, which is initialized to 0, this starts at 1. So if this is not equal to... No, I do want to start at 1. It's not, most recent number is not equal. This will start off at 1. Okay. Maybe I'll do... Let me think about this. So function takes the array, sorts the array, I think, and then it runs through each item of the array, and if the most recent checked number is not equal to the current number plus 1, I guess I could do this with I. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm getting so nervous.
No problem.
I guess I could just, the smart thing to do would be to just compare this with I think at this point, where I could just say if the first item, yes, I might not need this, so here we go. If, yeah, let's do that. If A to I equal to I, and we'll start this off at 1, and we'll return that item. Otherwise, I guess we don't really need to do anything. Okay.
Yep.
I hack through that.
Right. Yeah. I think this is better compared to the previous one where you have to do the 1 plus 1, because you are here. If it's going to be between 1 to 100, then yeah, you can just use an index.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Usually, I in an interview, I usually don't give an answer, but the best answer here would be you can use a math function. So I'm just gonna write it here up here. So for example, let's say array. So I would do something like this. So let's say total equal to array dot, well I just do length equal to array dot length, and then the total would be the total of 1 to 100, right, would be, because this could be n, right, any number of array elements. So I would say it's usually like mathematically it's n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2, right? That's usually it is. So then I would do that. Okay, so that gives me a total. 1 to 100, and then I would do let let's say array total equal to array dot reduce total I, something like this, t plus I, right? And the console log, basically it should be total minus the array total. So that should, because it, yeah, that should give you the yeah, because if one number is missing, then it should be missing from the total, right? So first you do the total of all n numbers, 1 to n, and then you do the total of the array where the n is missing, one of the number is missing, and then you just subtract it.
That's the way smarter way to do it.
Yeah,
it's but more robust. Well,
yeah, it's more robust, but I think yours is also the thing is, in an interview you may not get the best result or best way to do it, but if you can do sort of optimal way, which I think you've done pretty good job, because I've seen a lot of people doing, like, you know, all kind of have 5 different variables and tracking stuff and all that stuff. So yeah, so so you got to do whatever, you know, at the time your brain thinks of, right? So
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, but yeah, this is the easiest way. All right. Another, since I see you using this kind of function a lot, let's say function x. What is the difference between this kind of function and this kind of function? I always make spelling mistakes. That's why I'm not an English major, I would say. So what's the difference between these two in terms of, you know, whatever, like how do you differentiate between these two? What are the problems when you use one or over other on, you know?
Yeah, so I guess like right now, scope-wise, this one here will get it will. The functions get hoisted in their entirety, and variables get hoisted like the name, and then it gets set to undefined. So I guess one consequence would be that not that you would ever rely on hoisting for anything important, right, but this variable would get hoisted, but this function body would not be hoisted because it would be set to undefined, whereas this would be entirely hoisted.
Right.
And I think this is, gosh, I always mix them up, function statements and expressions. I believe this is I think this is a function statement. This is a function expression because I don't know.
Yeah, the first is a statement, or they call it declaration. Yeah, and the second is expression.
Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, I guess just the way you'd call them would be the same, and then let would give you block scoping, which is pretty neat, and this is just in the global scope hanging out, so yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are good points, and I think the one additional point which a lot of people don't know is that if you want to pass, so let's say if I have the second one, which is y, so the function declaration, which is x, if you want to pass it to another function, let's say if I want to pass x to a y, I could do this way, but actually what it becomes, inside it becomes an expression automatically, because you cannot really pass function declaration into another function. It will automatically becomes expression. So the somewhere I read, if I simply did this, it becomes an expression.
Because just the way that it tricks the syntax parser to...
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So.
And it's not assigning to it's not like a formal declaration, or it is, I guess.
It is. So that's why, if let's say I want to do like a immediately invoked function expression.
Right.
So remember, it's a immediately invoked function expression, right? So it has to be an expression. So if I simply did this, and in that case, you just don't even have to, I guess, put X here. So it's an anonymous function, but it's that automatically becomes, expression inside. It's kind of really confusing. When I started JavaScript, I had to like really dig deeper. Like one of my video, I said that you cannot pass function declaration inside a function another function, and then a lot of people would show me that, oh, I can write this X function and I'm passing here and it works, so you're wrong. I said no, as soon as you pass it, it becomes a declaration, expression, right? So I think then I would say, okay, well, maybe I said it incorrectly. I should say, you can pass it, but it becomes an expression automatically. Yeah,
right. That's definitely not how I would say the majority of JavaScript developers see it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Try a little bit more brain teaser.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say if I have, like a cash register. I'm just going to call it, what is it called? Till in UK, I guess they call it. I forgot. I'm just going to use a shorter form. And it has let's say a penny. An amount of pennies. Like I had 12 pennies inside, and then it has some dimes or nickels. Let's say 10 nickels and some dimes. Let's say 12 quarters and dollars. I say $30 or something like that. I'm just giving it an arbitrary numbers, but it basically has some money in the cash register. When somebody, let's say a cashier needs to give money back to, if you purchase something, right? So let's say if I have to give back, let's say $20.47 back, right? So I need to design a function where it would give me the $20.47 with the minimum amount of coins plus, well, let's say these are all coins. Dollar is also a coin. It gives you I need to use a minimum amount of coin. So how would you do that?
Release myself some comments, maybe. I think I want to subtract subtract as many whole dollars as I can, and then just work my way down using quarters and fives and tens. Let's see. So I want to make sure that I still have, or I guess maybe I'll pay the cents first. That's what I'll do. Pay cents first. gosh, I don't work with math and JavaScript so much. I think
if you pay by cents, then you would obviously get maximum amount of coins. I want the minimum amount of coins.
Oh, true. Yes, because I want to use, like in this instance, what I'd like to do is use $20, a quarter, 2 dimes, and then 2 pennies. But how can I let it know that? It's the whole. I also don't work with numbers so much, so I'm just gonna say dollar is gonna equal to. I'm sure this is a bad thing to do, but I'm just gonna go. You know what? Let me do. So now I can break this off. For instance, is 27. So dollars. Oh gosh, I don't know how to make this in a nice way. Oh man, I'm sure this is probably a really crazy way to do this.
It is. But it works. But it works. Yes.
Oh goodness. So I'm gonna do. I have to deal with. Let's see. Wait, sorry. I totally forgot. This is the change I'm giving back, right?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what they pay. If they paid like $30.
No. So this is the change that they're you're getting back. So you need to give this much back.
Give dollars. Wait, I'm not sure I want to do this, but. Let's see, there's dollars. Oh gosh. Equal minus. Wait. I guess I don't need that, but well. Oh gosh. Do it for pennies and dimes. Let's see. I guess I don't want it to be divisible by 5. So. Not divisible by 5. If I think I want to subtract it until it is. might have to concede. I think that's just. I think I.
Okay.
I don't have a good model of how I would do this.
Okay, so the first part is correct, though I would say so you get the right amount of dollars. The only thing is, let's say, so here you split, right? So you get the let's say 20 out, right, as a dollar.
Yeah.
So then you simply need to say, okay, I have tilde dot dollars equal to 30, right? So I would just basically, I don't really need to say I need to subtract it. I just need to say if it's less than, if my till has less than $20, then I have a problem, right? Otherwise, I can just give that $20 from the till, right? So I'm just gonna clean this here. So for example, I can say if and one other thing you can do is you have a total, right? So let's say penny total or cent total, well, just say CT or something, right? Is equal to total multiplied by 100, first of all, right? So then I have everything into cents, right?
Yeah.
Also, what I can do is I can have another object. So this is a little bit complex. It's not that simple. I can have another, let's say something like a value, right? So dollar is basically nothing but 100 cents. Quarter is 25. Dime is 10. I mean, there are multiple ways to do it. I'm just saying this way is, this is 5. And this would be 1, right? So now the approach should be, you can say, okay, from the total, which is now in cents, so this would become, if I have a 2047, then it will be 2047, right? This many cents I need to give back, right? And since dollar can give in 100 chunks, I can say if I divide 2047 by, let's say, value dot dollar, right? It would give me the remainder of 47, right? Yeah, remainder should be 47, right? So yeah, so if this should be CT actually. So then this would give me the cents, well, the remainder equal to this, right? Now what I can do is, so dollars equal to total minus the remainder, right? So that should give me the total dollar, which is 20, and I can actually divide it by the 100 to make it. So it gets a little bit complex, and then I have to do the same thing with the remainder. Now I go to the next level, and I do have to do the same thing. I have to say remainder quarter, so it would be similar, right? So remainder, I need to basically 47 divided by 25 and then find the remainder, right? And then move forward to nickel, and then if I'm done, then I should, if remainder becomes 0, then I'm fine, I'm done, okay? Otherwise just keep, or sometime I don't have enough money in the register, right? So and I can actually do a loop also, because I just need this much logic, right? So I can loop through it, and I have to have priorities. A dollar comes first, and then so I can loop through as well if I want to. So there are multiple solutions, but yeah.
That's cool with the remainder. That's really sweet.
Yeah. So then, but I think the trick is to bring everything into one unit, which is cents, right? Because if you look at the dollar and cents, then you know it kind of, it gets confusing. Yeah, one of the interview that I gave, I had this question, and it was like, it took me like almost like a half hour to finish it. And it was like I went like, you know, because you have to think, you know, instantly, right? So you have to do whatever the first thought comes in your head, right? The interviewer has already thought about it, right? So I was able to finish it, but it was just like it was a whiteboard question, so my whole whiteboard was filled with code, right? And I didn't have any space.
Well, I think having the values object is what I wanted, but I didn't even think about that as well.
Yeah.
Like,
So
also, obviously, putting it in a sense is the biggest thing, because
yeah, that is a trick.
you don't have to worry about
And another thing we have to think about is when you're given a question, we get stuck into what the question is asked and what are the parameters that they have given to us, right? So we only think in that scope. Okay, how do I, you know, rather than expanding it, so okay, I want to think beyond what they've given us. How can I improve this in terms of like, okay, I can actually, because I remember when they gave me this question, they simply just say, oh, I have $2.03, and then I started from there, like as an argument to a function, right? And then I thought, okay, and then after I finished it, it was so much messy. Then the guy said, oh, how about if you create an object with all the values inside? And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But now it's too late, you know. Yeah, so that is another trick, yeah. Let's say if I have a string called I love JavaScript. Okay. And I want the returning string supposed to be like TPIRS CSAVAJ EVOLI. It's a reverse string and reverse words and everything. And I give you a hint, you can do it in one line.
I was gonna say, I think I got this. I usually always have my dev tools open to test out things, but let me see if I got this. I'll do have to split it. I can't remember if
it's split, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna split on. I think I want to split on spaces. Let's see. I need to double check if string gets split. Split them into words. Oh wait, no. Whoopsies. I split them into letters. So split into letters. Oh shoot, I gotta get the space in there though. Space. At this point, I have an array of letters. I can reverse it. But how do I get the spaces back? Do spaces split? No, I can't even remember. Do I have to split it twice? No. What if I did do that, though? Split it into words? No. Oh, I'm just going to do it. I'll split it into letters, reverse. I'd have to join it twice. There's no way that would work. Alright. This is what I'm submitting, because I can't remember. Join the reverse. Or how to get a word, how to get the space. I just split space, or to split this. Wait, I'm splitting on the space. So if I don't split the space, then it's all gonna do letters, and then it doesn't know how. That's my final solution. I don't know what the heck that would yield.
So if you look at this, it's just a reverse string. You don't have to. If you split by, let's say if I split like this, letter by letter, and then just reverse it, and then join it. That's it, right? Because I kind of tricked you. Usually, because I said word is reverse and just reverse the whole string, I want the reverse the words and then reverse also each letter, which is nothing but reversing the whole string anyway, right? So had he said that, okay, I want to reverse, like a JavaScript love I, right? That means reversing the words only. So in that case, you can just split by space and reverse and join by, I think you join by space as well, right? And then, yeah. So this would do it. But the first solution, you simply, it's just a reverse string. It just, the way I said it is a trick. Yeah. Because you probably knew. You probably knew exactly how it works in the beginning. So.
Right, I think so. And then I just was thinking about the words and freaked out.
Yeah, no, it's just a reverse string, right? The spaces are an illusion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, but I think you did well. I think your command on JavaScript is pretty well, I would say. I've seen people who, struggle even with the syntax, but all this, you're quick on your feet and, so that's pretty good. And this is where everybody struggle, right? Is the fear, is the, am I going to get it right or whatnot, right? So we start just thinking in this little bubble, right? And so if you can expand the bubble and then just think it outside the box. So before even you answer it, I would just suggest you stare at the question for a few minutes, ask questions, right? And then I would suggest do it manually. When you do it something manually, for example, the cent, dollar to cent one, I mean the cash register one, if you had just manually, created, so if I give you an example of $20.40, you can, if you just break it down into dimes and nickels and all that stuff, then you can visualize, okay, this is how I manually did it. So what I would do programmatically would not be that far away. Okay, so that might give you some little bit of different possibilities, right? The way I explain it, it gets stuck in their head, and then they'd start following that pattern. I would say, kind of forget about what they say. Think of yourself. What is a question really is, right? That's the first thing. What did they ask? What the final result should be, and then you kind of bridge the gap the way you like it rather than what he wants, right? Because he might give you a constraint, and then you can say, okay, I can work in a constraint, but let me see, open up the possibility, and then you communicate that, and then maybe you'll like, I like the approach when you were struggling with the cents and dollars, you can say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna split this by a dot, right? So that was kind of good thinking on the feet, right? I am stuck. This is this is one way to do it, right? But you said that this is a hack and everything, so that's fine. But at least I can see your thinking process. I think that's very important. Yeah, you did way better than a lot of people I interview for job. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do this. Is that I could. I mean, this has been like a really good experience, but also I think the biggest takeaway too is like really what you said about like kind of reading the question and like and not listening so much to the words, getting like what you need to do, and then not thinking about the way it was said, and not even looking at things like the actual letters or anything like that, or thinking about quarters. Like just put everything as they're just like characters you move around and stuff. Like they're not. You don't think about the letters, don't think about the words. Like I don't know, it's easy to get really bogged down on simple things because like it's this mind game, So that's like a huge takeaway for me.
Because I think the problem with our brain is when it's under pressure, it just tries to find the first solution it comes, and it gets stuck in that zone. and then it just takes you to a wrong path.
And you're like stuck in it.
yeah, because you're trying to struggle there. Okay, I'm now I spend like 3 minutes on it. If I just keep going, I'll find a solution, right? And that may be the wrong approach. Yeah. So yeah, the way to learn is just, keep that in mind in the back of your head as a tool when you go in. It's a preparation rather than preparing for JavaScript. Prepare for this kind of stuff, right? How do you which tool to pull out rather than which function to write, I guess.
This was so cool. I'm like, this is a really cool opportunity. I really appreciate you doing this.
Hey, no problem.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.